like that. But I'm just going to look at the differences in the angles and the sort of the straight shots, because sometimes when we're close in and you're punching, you're flicking out a little bit, rather than driving straight in. And it's something that Keith does as well. But it's a habit, because the thing is, when everybody punches, they flick out, and it's a habit that it's just how you normally punch. You try and punch, and you hit out with the bottom knuckles. So when you're close in and you're trying to, there's a natural tendency to flick. And again, from a boxing point of view, is if I come out from here and I'm landing on these two knuckles, I don't actually land on them two knuckles at all, because it's there and I'm coming out, I'm going to hit with these outside knuckles, so I don't land with that. Whereas this power line here, if I put my elbow up there, that is the strongest I can hit a punch close in here, rather than if I was here trying to do it like that, I'd be chopping in with the outside. So if I bring my elbow up, then I'm coming straight forward, and I'm not bringing my hand out or finishing it with my hand. It's like I'm finishing it with my tricep, and that's what I'm not doing. Is I'm not coming out like this. When I start it, I'm supporting my elbow straight away, and then I'm just hitting straight forward as I can. Rather than if I was finishing it with that, I'd be coming out, my elbow would come forward, and then I'd flick.
Right, so you're saying it's that kind of...
That's the classic outside punch, the outside knuckle punch, So like you say, so sometimes if you're in close or you're just trying to flick in, you'll just flick out this little bit, you'll get that habit, because it
and start hitting with these.
Absolutely, and you start clacking with the other side. So okay, so first of all, we'll just look at a straight punch. So I want to start with a straight punch from there.
Right.
So it'll just come forward over here. So there now, if you were going to hit me straight in from there, now you just come straight in, bang, and you see, because of the angle, because of you starting there, you cannot hit with two knuckles. There's no way you can hit, because and that is natural for you to try and hit as hard as you can. You chop in, and because of the angle you're at. When the angle's there, then you can bring the elbow behind that and drive it straight in. So a lot of it is where your hand is. If you're turned this way, then you can come straight with that, bang, and straight in. So that's, a straight shot with that two knuckle one is different than if you were there and you're hitting a straight shot with that. That'd be there's a big difference in the positioning you're in when you have to throw the shot, and it's up to you to put yourself
in the starting position.
And like you say, if you're used to having your hands up like the boxers, a lot of the time they naturally throw from here, so they're not getting on. There's a power line that comes over there on a slight curve there. That's the strongest line I can throw the shot. So as soon as I go to throw my elbow, me punch, I back my elbow behind it. Then even if I land there, that's strong position. Whereas here, it's only when I come out and then I land, then I'm actually landing with any force, and it's with the chop on the outside knuckle. It's not got the inside drive with the forearm behind it. There's no way you can with that sort of turn. So let's just have a gentle. I'm going to give you it sort of there. So let's just have a straight shot. So. Okay, just stand here now and spin round. Stop doing the other. Okay, so just stay where you are now. Just turn this way now. So I'm really close now. So again, if I was here, then you've got that there, and the only thing you could really do from there is a little chop. Because you can't get that position. But if you lift the elbow up, bang, then that is like, rather than this outside knuckle chop, you can lift the elbow up and just go bang, straight in, and just get that drive in. Rather than this, or if your hand's closer, then you flick. You can only flick out. Whereas if it's out or it's just turned slightly, then all you're doing is lifting your elbow up, and then it's in that position. So it doesn't matter if I come into that, bang. But if your hand's down and you're there, if you're throwing that in and I come into that, then you're smashing your hands on the side of the knuckles, on the weaker bones, aren't you?
So that's going to hit me.
Whereas again, straight away, you can lift that elbow up and you've got it on that solid bit. And the thing is, you just pop there gently. Just go on. So you can see, you can take quite a bang on that, but again, because you've got the snap and everything on the end, and you're going to hit the knuckle on skull, then I might not put the snap in. It still hurts because it's that solid thing, and like you say, when you're lifting your elbow up, and just because it's lined it up and it's jabbing it in, you can feel yourself just how solid it feels, you know, and it's like you're not doing anything, but it feels so strong because you've trained that position.
And everything's sort of...
Everything's that's the strongest position to throw the shot, rather than using my hand, my arm, it's like the tricep, to finish the shot, and that's what a lot of people do in the boxing, and it's a habit you get. Well, you can't punch with the two in the boxing gloves, but it's also a habit because of the weight of the gloves. Because they've got weight, you naturally flick it out because it makes it harder. If you've got weight on your hands, then this becomes more pronounced then because you've got a weight, and it does make it harder because you can flick it out. But again, the problem with that is, you know, that's not a strong position at all, and you're using the hand and to kind of flick the hand forward, and it's not, that sort of flick is never going to have the sort of power that the driving shot is going to have, because it's a much stronger position. But it can feel strong, and like you say, you can flick forward. And
any kind of movement, and you're going to hit with the wrongest, you're not going to get it till it lands, you know, where you want it to land.
Exactly, you wouldn't throw a shot from here like that because of the position you were in. You'd probably throw a shot from there with the two knuckles because it's an easier position, because you'd be looking to land with them knuckles rather than the outside. Whereas, and again, if you're close in and you just chop it in, it's going to have such a little effect compared to that drive, because it's just so much stronger. So let's just sort of there. So let's just think about so and what's interesting is if I'm stood here and I've got to punch something sort of there, then all I'm doing is lifting my elbow up and moving myself over and just bang, just drive it. And it's literally a switch from one ankle to the other. And you see how you lift one. So if you lift that one up when you start, you get a little bit more of a drop, and then you just hit in. And you see how what's happening, rather than you turning and then throwing the shot out, you're curling and you're coming off on a curve. And you see how what happens is this arm comes off on a smooth curve. That's a smooth curve, and it's not what happens if you're boxing is you throw the shot and then your elbow comes out and then you throw it and then that bit lands, and you don't on that strong position. That was the biggest difference I've seen in the boxing punching, and that's how because a lot of them, when they train for the MMA gloves, they can punch with the two knuckles. They still are hitting the other way. They're still not doing that. So that's my mission for the new year, to get that on. But you can feel the difference, and you can see how it's a mistake. It's not a mistake. It's just the way they train. And it's just how boxers punch and how Muay Thai punches. So they assume because boxing and Muay Thai is the top punching art, that's what they're going to use. Because the gloves are different. They get it with a different part. There's such a difference in that sort of power level. You know, you felt it yourself. That drive. And again, what you're doing compared with just a chop or not having the arm in position just makes such a difference. And it's actually different mechanics, because what you're doing is you're turning on a circle and you're coming off on a curve. I just curve out. If you just point your fingers out like that and you just come off out on a curve and you're just curving straight in, that's a smooth curve there, isn't it? Straight out. If you're hitting with the outside knuckle here, keep your fingers out, and then you're coming out. You see what I mean? You're only coming onto the curve at the end, when if you were landing, you'd come out and then you'd land sort of there. Whereas with that, you're coming in, fingers are straight in, and the fingers are straight forward. You're not hitting. You can see how you're hitting with the side of the hand there, and it's hitting with all these weaker knuckles. Whereas when you're coming that way, the bones are straight down, the fingers are in line with the arm, and it's straight down. So you can see it a lot more if I do that. And I was hitting it with, you know, this end of the fingers, when I was coming that way.
Bang.
Because it's straight, isn't it? It's like you say, it's more of a straight. And what happens now, if I come, just move back there a little bit. If I come here now, and I come straight forward there, I am actually slightly stood off slightly to do that straight shot forward, straight onto you. Again, if I'm stood in front of you, then as I land, I'm landing just on that angle there. And it doesn't matter where you are, it's that little curve there. So the more curve I put on it, that's more of a cross. So a straight shot, it'd be straight in, or from there, just that little curve. As straight as I can see a line, and I'm moving myself to make that as straight as I can by landing on the two knuckles. A cross, or an overhand, is what I'm doing, is I'm coming over, bang, so I'm coming on more of an angle. So I'm just putting a bit more of an angle on, so then I get more distance, a bit more power in it, rather than coming straight from here. I'm coming out, I can start from further away, I can throw my body a little bit more, and then again with the hook, I'm throwing more, I'm rotating more off, more, and then I come out with a... But the hook is still the same as if I'm doing a straight and I'm just coming, curving off like this. When I'm doing the hook, I'm not bringing my hand out, I'm then throwing it in. That's swinging. And that's another habit you get from heavy gloves. Is they'll bring their hand out, or they'll go to throw a hook and they'll bring their hand out and then swing the shot in. And that's the same as hitting with the lower knuckles there, where you've got nothing. If you hit there, you've got nothing behind it to put where the energy's going in. So when you hit there and you swing out, and they'll hit with this side of the knuckle, because they can't hit with this in the boxing gloves, so they train to hit with that part of the knuckle there. Which is like the side of your hand, really, thumb, isn't it?
Yeah,
and the thing is you can condition it, but people have broke both bones because they're hitting side on, and the thing is it's the side of the bones you're hitting with, isn't it? So rather than when you're lining up there.
And it's just all along the...
Exactly, it's right along there.
Which is where it's designed to sort of take...
Exactly, where it absorbs stuff. If you get it wrong, it goes up and you don't get the pain of where you land on the bad angle. That's why all the pressure is on the bones, because you're chopping in, it's on the angle. So you never get it with that. So let's just look at... so let's think about a cross now.
So